G'day fellas. So this is Elevate. I'll be showing Elevate later on, but here at Empire, we're looking at running some more calls, just in our specific group. And obviously, like, this is all free, right? Like, you don't have to be in the course to take part in these calls. And so we do want to start providing a little bit more information, because a lot of people have trouble coming in with messages and that sort of thing, and in the time zones and that sort of thing. So if we figure out a way to record, to make these calls and then record them, that way people can come back in later if they missed the call or whatever. At least they can still go back and watch it, and if they do have questions after watching it on the post, they can come in the comment section or whatever, and one of the boys or one of the leaders will come in and provide them with the answer they're looking for, or take it to a private message and that sort of thing. Yeah, so I would like I said, all us Empire boys, like all the leaders, we are really trying to work on the time zone issue, because we know, well, it's just a matter of, like, we are mostly in Australia, right? And we're an Australian business, an Australian company, so it's really hard to try and accommodate for everyone else. But the more we build, the more we grow. Eventually, I hope that we'll get to a point where we have people in America that can take calls at American times, like typical Friday nights American time or something like that, just so the time zones can be a little bit more spread out, and people can tune in whenever they want. So has anyone got any questions, like right off the bat? Take that as a no. All right, so if anyone wants to come in and ask, someone wants to step up and talk about what their trading was last week, or if they made any trades, or if they won some, lost some.
I'm up about $300 on Opulus.
Yeah, well, there you go.
That's there good. We go. Got a good trade in, right? Made my money back and then some.
Alrighty, well, I will just start off with, I'll probably just go through the news, because that's usually what I do. So I'm going to probably go through my routine, my personal routine that I do every Sunday. So at the end of the week, I like to sort of reflect on what's happened in the previous week, and then I try and look forward to see what could happen in the future. Obviously, like, there's no determining whether it is going to happen or is not going to happen, but if you look at what happened last week, you look at some of the news this week that's coming up, then you can sort of draw a bit of a conclusion for yourself. So first of all, we'll go share this and get rid of Metallica. So that's our Facebook page. So if you don't have this website here, this is the website I use and a lot of the other boys use. There is a new one that TradingView have actually come out with. I'll just show you this one real quickly. Where is it? This one. So if you just come in TradingView main page, so this is where you would click on to look at all your charts. This is economic calendar. So it is very similar, and it does show, so you can obviously filter severity of impact that they suggest it's going to see in the markets. But I've used Forex Factory pretty much this entire time. So, and it is I'm just used to it, even though it is a bit old. I probably will start looking at this a little bit more, and maybe I might transition, but for now, I'm just going to stick with Forex Factory. So I'll just put this in the chat. I'll do it later. I'll put it in the chat, and you can save it, bookmark it. I have it so that whenever I open up Google Chrome, I have 4 tabs that open: YouTube, Facebook, TradingView, and Forex Factory. So once you set up, like you gotta, it's best to make an account because it's just a lot easier. Make an account and then you set your time zone. So then you're not, you're not getting screwed over in times and what's going to happen and when, and like when stuff's going to happen. So I've obviously got my time zone set to Brisbane 10 plus 10 GMT. So, and then you want to just hit calendar here. So right now, obviously, this is here. This is today, Sunday. So Monday, nothing really. Tuesday, we get our AUD statement. So that'll be interesting. Obviously, like I think it was released last week. I think it's going to be up 25 basis points. I think I can't remember now, but I think it was something like that. So that's to be expected here. Wednesday, old Feds, old pals coming back in. So this is where he's just gonna come back in. So they had the FOMC last week, and usually they have a meeting, and then the week later he comes back in and just sort of gives like a little bit of an update, answers questions, and that sort of thing. So depending on what he says there, that could impact the market because sometimes he spits some shit.
Last week, Ford done all right with that.
Yeah, so I mean, like he is. It's hard in his position, like he's doing the best he can, but really, like, it's just one of those jobs where, like, no matter what he does, he's doing it wrong. Like, from everyone else's perspective, no matter what he does, it's wrong. So it is what it is. So we see what happens after that. And then, yeah, so this is another one, FOMC, they come in and talk about more crap. Nothing really. Great British Pound have some stuff. No. So really it's just oh yeah, the University of Michigan coming back in with their sentiment. Yeah, so it's just really Wednesday, what was it? I want to say Wednesday and Thursday. So Wednesday at 3 a.m. in the morning, so Tuesday night, and Thursday night as well. So not much really. We're looking pretty good. So then I look at, obviously, because I already know what's happened last week. We had FOMC and everything, and I know the results of everything that's happened last week. Now that I've looked at this week, I can gather that, like we might see a bit of volatility between Wednesday and Thursday, right? So with that in mind, then you come to the Bitcoin chart. So I'm just going to actually go maybe even to here. So this is just my basic Bitcoin chart here. So this is my daily. I use this as a daily and 4 hour. If I just move this out of the way, yeah, this is what I want. So I've got everything in a little folder here in the object tree. So whenever I come in and do my fresh analysis, I'll just hit that. And I'll just redo it. So what I mean redo it is like I will, so let's just say I'm just going to do it really quickly. So I'll just say, yep, looks like we held here. And then since then we have pushed off this and have not returned. So that would be considered a pretty solid level because we have not even returned to that yet. And we got a significant push off it. So I'm just doing this. I'm just going to fly through this. It's a bit of an EQ. Bit of an EQ, a bit of a zone here. Well, I won't worry too much about zones just yet. There's no trend just yet because there's no trend on the daily or on the 4 hour. And I can see maybe a trend on the 4 hour, but we're looking at the daily first. No trend just right now. To start a trend going, you really want to see a pullback. We haven't seen a pullback on the 4 hour or the daily really just yet. So until we get a pullback, we can't really start a trend. So if we consider this the move up, come back down here somewhere, and then we move off here and then head up this way, that's when we would get the trend line and go like this. But until then, we can't do it. We just can't do it simply. And there's another level here that I can see pretty easily. Bit of a zone here, so we might even like come back and see this area again. Let me just get rid of this because we don't need that either. So 901. labeling these. I don't really need to label these. So that's pretty much like my areas right there that I'm looking at. In between those 4 areas, like we've seen interactions between all those levels in the past since, what is it, June? So then I just tag this, like this little unhide button. And yeah, my analysis is essentially the same, which is good. That's what you want. So I have a basic tool of, built up analysis over time, but every week you really want to like have a fresh mind and like, try and recalibrate things, because you might do something, you might add stuff that you didn't see previously, and then you might say to yourself, oh, that makes sense. And then you might add it, like I'll put this back on and then add it to that. So it really gives you an idea of like coming back and reassessing the bigger picture, because, if you just like for the longest time, I'll just delete all these. The longest time I just had one chart, and like I didn't have it in a folder or anything. I just had one thing, and there was just lines everywhere. And if I come back up to here, there was just boxes and zones and little patterns just everywhere, and it was just a mess. Now I have like a relatively clean chart. I like having a clean chart makes it a lot easier for me to see and analyze. But more than that, like it's just the fact that coming back in and just seeing it with a fresh mind really helps. Like you pick up on things you might not have seen, in the previous week or the previous week before that, and things do change, So, but for the moment, like I said, we just tried it then, and the areas that I've already tagged have matched up. Just get rid of this. I'm not looking at this yet. But yeah, so that's one trick, like one tool you should like really do at least once a week. Doesn't really matter when, but usually it's better to do it at the end of the week, to like sort of just reflect on what's happened and sort of what you can potentially see moving on. So like I said, between Wednesday and Thursday we might get that volatility. So in saying that, in having that in mind, we might be my theory is we're either just going to keep, floating around this level here. We may even come up to this level here between Wednesday and Thursday. But once we get to that Wednesday and Thursday, so where are we here? Yeah, so literally, if you look down the bottom here, Thursday, 16th. So we might float around here until from where we are now to here, before we see that bit of volatility, and then we might, who knows what happens then, but we're expecting volatility, right? So we might like shoot up and like spike back down, and then we come back to another previous zone. But until then, we don't really know. But like I said, like
so much investment
so you look at what news has happened last week, and obviously like I keep up with that, so I know what's happened last week. You look at what's going to happen this week, and then you sort of predict it, what might happen, right? So like I said, between Wednesday and Thursday, we might see a bit of volatility. So it's looking like we might float around this level here before, we see that potentially volatile move, either up or down. But like I said, we are due for a pullback. We are seeing quite a lot of divergence here. We're losing strength, which means that it's becoming less and less buyers as we come up. And now that we're actually still progressively moving upwards, like we're still actually moving up, the RSI is actually coming back down. So that's generally not a good sign. And since we're actually below the 70, that's actually like the rule, like one of the rules of RSI is once we're down below 70, once we've been above, like to the oversold area, like over bought area, and then we've come back down to the 70, generally that's like a relatively good sign that a pullback may be coming. So until we get, and another incident is this, you can use this RSI moving average here as well. And we have crossed that and like see, we look, I'll just actually just do this, it might be easy to see. So obviously you can see the divergence here. And since prices, we know price has been moving upwards, this has been moving down, so that's a divergence. We've broken down this level, we've come back up, it looks like we've actually tested this this moving average here. And since then we've pushed back down into this 70 zone, below the 70 zone. So I think it's, what is it now? Yeah, 68. So just below it. So the next thing would be to see it break the 50. And once it breaks the 50, that's generally the sign that it's already in momentum. Like, so it's already like, you know, the move is already like underway. And then you're going to wait for that pullback, the rally to make a lower high. And then that's when we want to make that trade. So if I'll put that in perspective once I come back up here. So let me just so let me just grab this. So what I was saying is, if we, let's just say in this instance, we come back down and we break this 50, we might see like a break into this zone here, like something like this. And then we might get a push back up, which we'll see like this, lower high. And then that's when we might come back down to a lower level. And then that's when we would make a trade, something like this, right? And we might see this level here, the daily level here, right? Let's just use that for an example. Just get rid of all that stuff and get rid of that. So has anyone got any questions about any of the stuff I've gone through today? So I'm going to go through a couple of the trades that I am in at the moment. I'm only in 2, and then I'm also going to share something that I'm working on. I still have to do quite a bit of research to figure out how it actually works. But I've got a general idea how it works, but I still need to do a little bit of work on it. So the first one I want to go through is LTC. Right, so this is like one of the most basic charts or trades you can literally ever make, right? So this is literally all the analysis I've done. Some of the stuff was deleted down here, but really all I was looking at here was this being like a little bit of a bull flag into like a large consolidation. I noticed that once we broke this, so hang on, let me just. So this level here created a lot of heavy interactions here. So I knew it was going to provide some significance, and obviously here we've done the same as well. So it led me to believe that this zone here, this 3871, is a pretty solid level. So I was looking at this as a sort of like a, not even a bull flag. We saw a massive run up, we come back down, and we tested this area here. And then we pushed off and we did not stop until we come back to this same level here. So if we're trading, no matter what we do, no matter how you look at this, whether it's a bull flag, whether it's literally just a consolidation, like people trade consolidations all the time, where it's just 2 levels, right? Bounce between here and here, and you just trade short, long, short, long, short. So however you wanted to trade this, but that's what I was seeing. Like once we hit this level here, we push right up and we saw this level again. So my expectations was, once we come back down here, we're going to come back up and see this level again. So I think it's something like, so that's up 10% against BTC. So I think it's up, I think I'm up like 20-something% against USDT, because while this has been moving up, also Bitcoin has been moving up, which increases the USDT value. But against BTC, yeah, it's up 10%, so that's good. As well as this one. So this level here, I saw this as, so if I just go back here, let me just try and get this right. I was looking for like something like a double bottom here, and on this weekly time frame, obviously, like if it closes tonight, it's looking like we're going to get that morning star, which is perfect, right? But for me, before I saw this, because obviously I entered down here somewhere, I looked at the weekly and I saw that we were getting bullish divergence. So we were getting a bounce here and here. So we were moving upwards on the RSI, but we were coming down. We were at that same level we held previously. So I was looking at this level to hold again and may possibly act as like a double bottom, which is what I was looking for. And if we get this morning star here, which is looking relatively likely, we might get the very start of a double bottom. So obviously the double bottom is only confirmed once it breaks this level and tests this neckline here where it's previously got to, and then pushes off. But this is the very start of a double bottom, of potential double bottom, should I say. So if I just go back to the daily, obviously same thing again, like we were coming down and we were getting that move, the three little dabs down there. See, we come down and we were slowly moving up, but we were still just like floating around this same level here. So that showed me that this box here, there was quite a lot of orders just sitting there waiting. So that's when I just decided to place an order there, decent sized stop loss below this wick here. Just in case, like, you know, a big order come through and people wanted to, you know, snap up, you know, some cheap Neo. I don't even know what Neo does, to be honest, but so all I was looking for in this particular case was that weekly divergence, weekly bullish divergence, and the daily divergence that I was seeing here. And that was enough for me. And I also seen like a, so this Morningstar here. So if I just zoom in, maybe we'll get this thing. So this here, I decided, yep, cool, I'm going to enter. Well, I'm going to set my orders, right? So I set my order back at this same level here, and then it wicked literally pretty well on it. So pretty lucky on this one. But you know, sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes you just don't get in. So, but in this case, you got me in, so that's great. What's this up? I think it's like same again or something. Yeah. So I'm up like 20% against BTC right now. And I think they're both sitting around. So it's about 40% up on USDT. Alrighty, so let's go through really quickly. Yeah, we'll do this. So this is the US 500. So stocks and crypto have a lot of influence with each other, and like they have a lot of they have a positive correlation. So what that means is if the stocks are going up, generally speaking, Bitcoin is going to go up as well, because they're considered to be in the same category. They're high risk, essentially. Everyone knows crypto is probably very high risk. Stocks are high risk, but in the same instance, it's just if you just think of it as a scale, like a risk factor. If the high risk stuff or the more riskier stuff is going down, then generally everything else in that near that category is going to feel the same effects, right? So we saw this level here. Let me just, I won't delete anything because I can't be bothered, but I'll just draw this really quickly. So I was looking at this downtrend here. So we look down here, this downtrend, and it's been tested multiple times. And we got to this level here, and it was literally lined up with the 61.8 fib level. So if anyone doesn't know how to do fibs, you just do it from the top to the bottom of the move that you're looking at. So in this case, this would be the move, because this is the market structure, right? We've come down, lower high, lower low. We come back up, we come back higher than here, but then we came all the way back down and we went lower than here. So this is like a new run down here. So let me just get rid of all this. So that's where you would draw your fibs. So draw it here to down here. Well, it was actually here at the time. So I was looking at this level here, right where it was, like right where we saw this move down here. I was actually expecting, I was actually expecting to see exactly the same as what we've seen all these previous times here, and see like maybe something like this, and then like a move further down, because you know, if you look at this as a descending triangle, right, we're trending down, right? But instead, we saw a lot of volatility through this area because there was a lot of stuff going on. But we did come lower, but we held at this level here. So this is actually, I don't know, this must have deleted. This is a bit of an EQ here, so let's put that there. So there was a lot of, I remember this period here, there was a lot of volatility through this period. It was maybe I might go over 4 hours. Yeah, so like this was just like, you know, it'd be a day of up, day of down, day of up, day of down, and it was horrible to trade during that time. Against yeah, against USDT pairs, it was pretty crappy time to trade because it wasn't really giving any indication of what direction it was going to go. We could have just as easily come back down. But in this case, we held, and since then we've actually pushed out of this downtrend here. So that's actually a good sign because now, if you just look at this as just do this one actually. This could even be, let's do this as well. This could even be looked at as like a bit of a, I think you not delivered. Like a bit of a cup and handle here. So we've come all the way down, come back up, come back down. We've actually held, and we've held higher than what we did previously. And since then, we've actually come up higher than here. So we've actually made a higher high as where we are right now. So generally speaking, that's actually a really good sign to where we are right now. Obviously, we've only recently just broken the trend. So like I said, possibly we might like float around here a bit, maybe come back up to this level here. So let me just actually. Yeah, that's a bit of a, that's a really good level there. So let's put that as, let me just get rid of this. So maybe we might see this move up to here. I'm not saying we're going to get there in 2 days or 3 days, whatever that is. But then we might see like we might come back to possibly this level here before we continue the uptrend. And then that's when we can, sorry, let me just move this. That's when we can grab this and like maybe draw something like this. So maybe let me just redo this again. So maybe you might come up this, something like this, and then come back down and then like hit this trend here. And then that's when we keep moving up. And then this would be, yep, cool, we're back in a bull trend. So first step is we to a new trend that's been started is the break in the previous trend, which is what we've got. So obviously the first step, sorry, is actually the high low, which is what we got here. So generally this is what you get, when you break a trend, you break the, sorry,
I did not eat it all. I had 2 little pieces. I don't know. Ask her. Auntie Lana had, or Auntie Terry came too.
Oh, she did come.
Yeah.
So did she come with Julie?
Oh, I didn't, hold on. Sorry, guys.
yeah, I don't know how to mute. So can you mute
Oh, shit.
please?
My bad, guys. Sorry, my sister walked in.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, so like I said, the first step when you break, when a trend is broken, well, the first step to a potential new trend is a new market structure. So this was confirmed, this new market structure wasn't actually confirmed until we broke it here, but we broke the trend as well as this. So those are the first 2 steps of a new trend forming. So now we really, the only confirmation left for this trend to be 100% confirmed is coming back to this level here to get those 3 touches. Once we get the 3 touches, that's when like you have the most validity in your in the trend that you're seeing. So could we potentially see something like this? I've got no idea. Because trading is one of those things where, like we draw up the analysis on the most likely or most probable thing. It's not anything, there's always, what do you call it? Trading is one of those things where you can have the most probable thing to happen and it just doesn't happen. So, but that's what I'm seeing on this. So let's have a look at this, see what this is doing. So this is the Bitcoin dominance chart. And this is another thing I like to look at as well. So as you can see over the last few, obviously since here in November, really, we've really moved up in dominance against altcoins. And you can really see that in the market as well. Like when we're coming down like this, that's when altcoins are just going crazy. Like Bitcoin can be doing whatever it wants to do, but they kind of like, they feel like they're separated. Like altcoins are sort of, doing their own thing, and then Bitcoin's doing its own thing as well. But once we start going the other way and Bitcoin starts either going down or up, whatever it is, generally that's not really a good thing for altcoins, because that means they're struggling against Bitcoin gaining sort of power over them. So it was quite visible throughout this time here, because sure, there's been heaps of, like, quite a few coins that have gone up, you know, however many percent, but during these times, like, coins were doing like thousands of X, you know, but during these times here, you know, there hasn't really been that, like, quite as much gains. And not only that, it's more of like a widespread market thing during this period here. Like, no matter what altcoin you bought, generally it was just going to go up. And, you know, some would go up 1,000%, some would go up 300%, whatever it is. But now that this is moving, trending upwards, generally it's you know, you're not going to get the, you know, the shit coins that see those same gains as something like Ethereum or something like Link or any of the other ones that have, you know, reputations. But during these times, however, you know, it's just any coin. Like, shit coins have got up like, you know, 300x, you know, in you know, a couple of weeks. So and we're trending up, like, we're literally trending upwards. So I would move in this period of time. If you have like a wide portfolio, maybe it's like an idea to move a little bit more into Bitcoin, because it is gaining value against all the altcoins right now. Or maybe just to consider, you know, yeah, just consider it really. Dixie. So obviously this is what, yeah, I was expecting this to happen. So this was the last daily level that actually got tested, and this is a weekly level that got tested heaps of times previously. Yeah. So I was expecting a lot of interaction between these two levels here, 103 and 101. This was the last time it was tested before we saw a massive run here all the way up to 114. So I was expecting between this level and this level, we'd see a bit of a reaction, and divergence has been just kicking away. So we've just continually just been like punched downwards, but we've literally held the 30, which is actually a really good sign for the Dixie, which is not really a good sign for crypto. But as you can see now, we're seeing quite a significant move out of here. Will this be the start of like a new trend upwards? Who knows yet? This is literally just the start of it. See if we can see anything on the 4 hour. Not really. Until we get it back above this weekly level and test it, that's when I would consider to maybe a bit more wary on where Bitcoin is and that sort of thing. And going on from that, like I said, like you look back at the previous analysis, right? If over the next few days we move up and we get to that Wednesday, we break this level, get to that Wednesday, Thursday, we might come back down and then like push straight off and like fly out of here. So, and then that wouldn't be good for Bitcoin. That would mean that we'd see like that massive pullback or come even lower potentially, right? So when but that's all based like from experience, right? So like, you know, you can trade up, you know, you can chart up a coin here and there, do your analysis on the Dixie, on the S&P 500, but the experienced traders, you know, they get everything and they smash it all into one, and then you get one general idea. So like, oh, so what's the news? Okay, Wednesday, Thursday, where's Bitcoin going to go potentially? What the US dollar is doing, combining all of that knowledge into like a sort of like a thesis. That is how like you start like really mastering your trading, right? So that's just one thing that a lot of new traders like can't really get a handle on, but and you might not be able to do it like right off the bat, and that's fine because it does take a lot of experience. But that's one of the main, like one of the most experienced things you learn over time is you got to try and combine everything that you're seeing into like one general theory, right? And then that's how you make really educated decisions. And it also affects your confidence, right? So if you've got all these different things that you're looking at and smash it all into one, like when you place a trade, you are a lot more, I'm telling you right now, you're going to be a lot more confident in that trade because, you know, you have this theory and have this thesis in your head, all this different stuff coming in together. So when you're placing a trade, you're not going to be, oh, I wonder if it's going to do that. You know, you're not going to have psychology like knocking on the door, you know? So So that's that. I don't even know if I look at anything else really. Let's look at the two first. Okay, so it's looking like, yeah. So I wonder if we're going to get that breakout here. So this is the 2-year yield here. So this going up is so this has an inverse relationship with, so this is this is our low risk stuff. So inverse to that is the high risk. So this has an inverse relationship with stocks and crypto. So when this goes up, it's generally not a good sign. So it's this, just think of this as something similar to the Dixie, right? So it's similar, interacts similar in a similar way. So when this goes up, it's generally not really the best sign for high risk stuff, because that means a lot more people are putting money in low risk stuff. And when people see that a lot of people are putting a lot of money into low risk stuff instead of high risk stuff, then more people follow, and then that's when you get that move out of here, and then that's when you get that crypto dying and stocks dying, because people are taking money out of crypto, taking money out of their stocks, S&P 500, whatever they're doing, and then putting it into more secure bonds and that sort of thing for the next 10 years, 30 years, whatever they want, whatever their investment strategy is. So actually we'll look at this level. So we're coming up to this pretty significant level here. This looks like a bit of an EQ. Yeah, let's put that in real quick. EQ. So once we get above this level here, if we get above this level, we might come back up to meet this trend here, and then that only then maybe see a relief rally for stocks and Bitcoin and that sort of thing. But in saying that, we could still hold here at this EQ. There's a lot of volume and a lot of trading here that goes on. So really just got to wait to see what happens here. I'm not even going to look for 30 really, because 2 seconds. Yeah, so similar, very similar. Oh, that's right. All my stuff got deleted on this. I'll have to just do that and then I'll do it later. Alrighty, so has anyone got any other questions? Or even if you give me a trade or give me a coin that you took a trade on, and then I might be able to have a look.
I'm only looking at one at the moment. Algo on the daily.
Algo on the daily.
USDT.
So before I go, does anyone have any questions about any of the stuff? I should have said this at the start. If you have questions, just stop me. Don't let me keep going on, because I'll just keep going. All right. So if you have any questions, for this week or next week, just come in and just say something. That's all you got to do. If I'm going through stuff a bit too quickly, just say, hey, bud, just relax a bit, eh? So anyone got any questions?
I was just having one question about.
Sorry, what was that?
I was just having one question about the Bitcoin dominance.
Yep.
How is the relation to that actually? Because we were talking a little bit about that.
Yeah. So
what
was the question?
What does that say exactly?
So
what does it tell you?
So when Bitcoin, the way to think about this is look down here. So this is percent, right? So that means that the crypto market cap of BTC, the whole crypto market, everything, all crypto, including BTC. BTC is literally 43% of the crypto market right now, right? So when we're moving up like it is, that means more and more money is in Bitcoin and not in altcoins. When we're up here and we're seeing these type of moves here, that means a lot of people are selling their Bitcoin to buy altcoins. And then that's when they have that shift between whatever we were here at 48%. So we're around that 50% level. So 50% of the whole crypto market cap was literally in Bitcoin, right? And then the other 50% was in altcoins. So, and then we had that shift between Bitcoin owning 50% of the market to Bitcoin owning 40% of the market. And during this run here, that was like a massive run for altcoins. Like this was like the altcoin rally. So we had one here, and then we also had one here back in June, like last year in 2022. So it's really just a way of assessing whether you're going to have more risk in altcoins or Bitcoin. So if we're at a support level on the Bitcoin dominance chart and we're looking like we're going to move up, that would mean that altcoins are really going to, most likely, it's like a generalistic thing, right? So they might, I'm not going to say every coin is going to get affected, like every altcoin is going to get affected when Bitcoin dominance rises up. But generally speaking, if Bitcoin is taking dominance over the altcoins as a whole, like generally that means that most altcoins are going to struggle. If Bitcoin is also going up, like it really depends on Bitcoin, where Bitcoin is moving. So if Bitcoin is going up or down, it depends on what depends on the altcoins doing. It depends on where the dominance is, and whether it's going up or down, and which direction Bitcoin is moving. So if Bitcoin is moving upwards and we're at a support level here and dominance is also rising, so if Bitcoin's moving up, dominance is rising up, that means altcoins are going to like float around the same sort of level. They might see a little bit of gains here and there, and that sort of thing, but they're just going to be floating around, not really moving too much, because they're getting pumped up from Bitcoin, like they're getting artificially pumped up from Bitcoin, but they're not actually increasing against their BTC value. So Bitcoin is like taking dominance. They're going up in USDT, but they're not going up in BTC. So, and then the opposite to that, if we're at a support level, like say here, and dominance is rising upwards and Bitcoin is coming down, that's usually the worst sign for altcoins. That means they're losing money against USDT and they're losing money against BTC. So that's when they're going to get that double bleed effect. So that is like the worst case scenario for altcoins. So I remember during this period here, like some altcoins literally dropped like, 50% in like, a few days. So do you have any other questions? Do you understand that?
Oh, that's fine for me for now.
Sure, mate. I'll if you want, I made a post, like, well, there's quite a few posts on how this chart actually works that we put in our in Empire. So if you want, I can, maybe I'll just find it now.
Thank you.
I'll just find it now for you so you can, which is what I'm doing here. Jesus Christ, I've done a few. Wish I could see this.
Is that one in the
put
chat help, Jared?
Yeah, well, hang on. It's making me save it. Well, hang on, just give me a second. Yeah, where did it save to? Oh. All right, hang on. My computer's just. Oh, yeah, here it is. I don't know where it is. I'll just just send the link in there. So are you in Empire or are you in Elevate or anything?
Me?
Obviously you're in Empire. Are you in Elevate? Like, are you doing the course?
Me? Or what?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm doing actually the mentorship program with Matt at the
Oh,
moment.
really? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll put that in the Elevate chat then. I'll find it and I'll put it in the Elevate chat for you. So just watch that, and I'll see if I can tag you. What's your surname? I'll write it down.
David Salzman.
Can you also take mine down as well, please?
Yeah, sure. Yep.
Thanks.
So David. And who else was it? Sorry.
Sean.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Hey, Jared, tag John Hanley as well, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
No problem. All right. Alrighty, so apart from that, does anyone have any other questions? This is, no other questions? Does anyone want to come on and talk for a little bit? Show me a chart, just show me something. Andrew, come on.
Yeah, I'll show me. I'll go chart.
Yeah, you will. Let me just this. Give me some time to find this post.
Can you enable share screen?
Oh yeah, go with that. Yeah. Yep. There you go, bud.
Screen. This one? Does that show your screen?
Yep, that's him.
When I charted this up a couple of weeks ago, actually, when we were doing the downtrend, marked out a channel. I more used the parallel channels for my trend lines just to catch those extra wicks. So I charted that up there with my supply zones and support resistance, blah, blah. And then noticed this key level of support that I was holding here for a while, back from behind here. When I looked left, noticed that, and then once it broke through there, it came up to retest it, failed. And then I was watching this closely, waiting for the breakout of that downtrend, came back down for the retest, and then it made its way up to this resistance that previously couldn't get through. It's broken through that now, and I'm currently just watching that to see if it acts as a strong level of support, and that's where I'll take my entry. Stop loss is below previous structure, and take profit is at the next identifying resistance. So that's a 4.3 to 1. But that's on a daily, so that'll take a while unless we had some crazy massive pump. But I did also notice the divergence on the weekly is actually looking really good too, which I've actually started to try and put into a habit for me, like a routine, to check the stronger timeframes to see what the divergence is, because if you're on a half an hour or 1 hour time frame, divergence can turn around pretty quickly. And that's pretty much all I'm watching at the moment, to be honest. I haven't really been in any other trades. Market's been so up and down. But yeah, that's all I've been trading at the moment.
Yeah, sweet. I'll chart it up in a second. Does anyone else want to come on? I'm just gonna pick someone.
Sure, Marsh's got something.
Surely Dwayne, bud. Come on. Townsville boys, come on. Get on the camera.
No,
bud,
I haven't.
by the
No.
way.
I'm fatigued from a journey, a trip. So now I'm learning off superior traders.
Superior, I like that actually.
Dwayne's got something for sure.
Yeah, surely. Come on, Dwayne.
I'm on my phone at the moment.
Oh,
Actually, bloody out and about doing some work, not in front of the PC, listening in.
alrighty. Well,
Jared, I might
I'll
just say
go
something.
through- I'll go through. Yeah, go for it.
I'm just going to say what I do. I agree wholeheartedly with, especially the students, etc. Is for them to reinforce is what I call over-analyzing charts. With that you can get, there are a heap of indicators. There's a heap of information that comes into us, and it's the old keep it simple, stupid. It's good to get confluence and information from sources that may influence it. But as you said, if you have a heap of lines and I don't know, you have all these indicators on your charts, you procrastinate and you end up not going, steering away from your trading plan basics, don't you?
Yep.
Makes you question everything as well. You start seeing bias, bearish bias,
Correct.
bias, bullish, and you start just questioning. Some of my best trades have been from one support, one resistance to trend line, bang.
Correct. Yeah.
It's just so it seems to me that the problem you're having is not technical based. It's purely psychological based. So that's like the hardest thing to master. One of the hardest things to master is psychology, because obviously the mind is a very confusing thing, right? So it's just really experience, right? So and the only way you get experience is by doing analysis and placing trades, right? So if as long as you're doing that and recording everything down, your psychology, I'm telling you right now, is going to improve no matter what you do. So
Yeah.
so long as you're writing everything down, journaling your stuff, doing analysis like every week, and entering trades, like that's the main thing. Like a lot of people out there, like they always draw stuff up like, oh, this trade would have been great. It's like, well, cool, you put money on it, like you're not gonna and obviously I think that the whole how do you call it, the fake money or whatever it's called, the fake trading thing, like that's really good.
trading.
Yeah, paper trading, that's awesome.
trading.
That's awesome, everything. But it's awesome to test new strategies, right? That's what it's for. Like you're testing new strategies. Once you have tested this new strategy using the paper trading theory, implement that and put it in on money. Like put money on it. Put money on that strategy. You've just tested it and you've just said, oh, it works. 40% of the time with a risk to reward of at least 2 to 1. Put money on it. Like over a period of time, like that. I'm telling you right now, that's how you profitable. If it's a average 40% win rate, and it's a 2 to 1 risk to reward minimum, over the long run, no matter if you get 10 trades wrong in a row, you're going to get 4 right, you're still up money, right? And like you're only going to get that by entering trades with money. So, and it's one of those things, like if you like, you have to be afraid to lose money, that is how you like accomplish your trading journey, right? You have to be afraid of losing money. You have to be afraid of winning a lot of money. That's just what it is. You just have to work on it.
If you use OKX, there's actually a demo account. In the demo account, you get $5,000 to play with. So it takes away, the psychology of the money behind it. So, you can throw $100 on that trade if you want and see how it goes. Play around, it doesn't matter. But when you're testing out the papers, the strategies through paper trading, that's the best way to do it. You get $5,000 to play with, and throw it at the table. And then once you start seeing that $5,000 grow, and then you can start putting your real money on it.
Yeah.
And just quickly,
Agreed.
If you wanted to bring up, I'm in a trade at the moment.
Sure.
BAT USDT. I've seen the BTC pair was looking pretty good. On the daily, it closed above resistance.
That BTC, you said?
Yeah,
That's that's looking really good, actually. Well, for the coin, anyways. Oh yeah, add a bit of a level here.
and the
So
USD.
I'm gonna do this a little bit quickly. Like generally, I would use boxes and like I would add in boxes, but for now, I'm just gonna use lines. So yeah. I've already got some stuff drawn on it. What's going on here? Oh yeah, already got a box in here. Is it still valid? Yep. Just bring that across. Looks like we have a bit of an EQ right here.
Looks like it's approaching that downtrend line you got there.
Yeah, let me just extend that real quick. What am I looking for here? Let me just see if that'll even. Nah, it's not even. I don't even like that trend. Really, just gonna delete that.
Yeah, it's got 1 point.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's another thing like you get with experience as well. If you draw something just for the sake of drawing it, like that's not how that's not how you improve, right? If there's no use for it to be there, just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. There's no point in having it on your screen. You're just going to confuse yourself. You're going to get confirmation bias potentially. So if it's not there for any use, delete it because you don't need it. Alrighty, so I mean, yeah, we actually look like a bit of a small little bull flag here. We come up and then it was pretty volatile through this area, but now we pushed out of it successfully. So it's looking decent. We're not even into the oversold really on the daily, so that's still got some more upside to go. I would say. We may even see a lot of interaction at this level here, like we have previously.
that order block.
Yeah, before we get like we might like come up here and then like float around here for a little bit before we, or potentially even come up and then like create like something like another bull flag or something like that, come back to the 61.8 wherever that may be, before we move off it. And then that's when we can get that, it's not a trend line, something like that. But till then, it's looking pretty good. So if I was to trade this, I wouldn't trade it on the Bitcoin chart because it's already moved. But going by what analysis I've just shown, right? So it's looking pretty good. We're not oversold this yet on the daily. It's looking like it's probably going to move up, like up over the next couple of days or whatever. That's when I'm like, all right, cool. What's the USDT pair doing? So we go on here. Okay, it's already moved up a bit. So let's all this stuff's on there already. All right, so there's a bit of a level here. What are we looking at? Daily still? Yep, daily. You've definitely broken the trend. So I want to let's put that in really quick. But we've broken it, tested it and broken it. We tested this level here by the look of it. So this is a bit of a something like that. So we've tested it, tested some of the EMAs here. We're coming up to the 200. So we might see a bit of a pullback here. In saying that, let me just this real quick. So we've broken this, we've literally just broken the 61.8, which is actually a good sign. I'll actually keep that in there for a second. The 786 is the next stop, which is here. We just add this in real quick. All right, so that's a 78.6. This is the last point. Like if we break below this, the downtrend is no longer happening. So this could mean that like if we what I can see on here is potentially something like this, push up to that 76.8 and floating around this 200 EMA level, come back down, maybe even to this level here. There's a bit of a level here. I'm just like doing this really quick. This isn't my analysis. This is just me giving an idea of how I would trade this. So we're moving off, coming back, like getting to a level, finding a little bit of a rejection, coming back down here and showing signs of like buying. So like maybe it's a Morningstar, hammer, something like that. Showing signs of like this level holding. That's when I'll be like, all right, cool. Oh, wrong one. This one. That's when I'll go something like this. Maybe even like have a relatively tight stop where we push through here and then aim for here to start off with. Just the previous top. And then there's another one up here that we could watch, but you would obviously, this would be something that you would have to watch. But for me, I would just look at this first of all, and then like take most of your profits off the table after this, and maybe you want to, if you want to leave some in, just to see what happens through this next area up here, because we did move pretty violently through this area. So when that happens, generally that means that there's not that many orders through this area, which means like the moves can happen very quickly, which is what we saw here. So what that would look like if it was moving upwards, so let's just say we come back down, got us in the trade, come back up, broke out, and then once we got out of this level and tested it, since we moved pretty violently through here, we might see a pretty violent move upwards. That's just like from my experience, it's what happens. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. So for now, I might actually even save that just so I can come back. But yeah, so like I said before, I was like adding everything, all your analysis in and smashing it together. I've just looked at all the other stuff, looked at BTC, looked at BAT BTC, and saw that, all right, we're gonna we're trending upwards, like we're making some decent moves upwards. We're not even the old oversold yet. It's looking like we might get to this level in the next few days. So we might see that push up. So which would mean, we get that push up to here, somewhere here, or maybe even up to here. And then, we might see that pullback back to that level on the BAT BTC. So back to somewhere like, push up to here, might see a pullback to down here somewhere. And then that's when, we would be back down to this level, possibly. Watch the signs of like support, and then that's when you would enter the trade. So like I said before, it's just getting your ideas together, like looking at the BAT BTC pair, looking at the USDT pair. All right, what are they both telling me right now? And then like that's when you can assess your plan, decide which strategy you want to implement, And, you know, that way, when you get all that stuff rolling, like balled up and ready to go together, that's when you like, when you place the trade, like you place it and you're confident, and then you can just walk away and then that's it, right? That's where the confidence comes from, building stuff and like putting it all together, and just being, yeah, there's no other way to put it now. I don't know how to explain
Well said,
it,
mate.
but
Couldn't have said it better myself.
it's just adding all the stuff you've looked at and putting it all into one big theory, and then trying to draw a potential strategy and a conclusion and what's going to happen. And then that's when you place a trade, and you're going to be more confident. You know, you're not going to have second guesses and, you know, oh no, I'm not going to do it. And then like all of a sudden the trade starts going out and you're like, oh, I'm going to jump in now. And then you get stopped out and blah, 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 whatever. Like that's when that's the hardest part, right? So, but that comes with experience. So I hope everyone can get to that point, because it really does open your eyes when you come into trading. But
Yeah, definitely give that OKX demo account a go. Play around with that for $5,000. I noticed with myself in the beginning, I had a good winning streak there for a while, and then I went, you know, on a downhill, just loss after loss after loss, and then I just, you know, found myself chasing the money that I was losing, and I had to talk to Matty, and Matt said, mate, just pull up, just forget about the money, start, you know, paper trading, go back to the strategies, look at the lessons, and start from square one. And I did that, and I did it all with the paper trading, and then you notice all the pressure just goes away. You don't care about the losses, and you're just focused on the percentages then, and then and the strategy.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
once you've got it down pat,
I
you know
definitely
that
rate
you
it.
get an average win rate of, you know, could be 30% from that strategy. Then you could work out what ratio you need to take on trades to stay profitable.
Right.
Using whatever strategy.
It's literally, it is designed for testing strategies, and that's how it should be used. And like I have used it. Like I do use them, and like they're really good. I haven't used the OKX one. I've used the one on here. But yeah, they are really handy. All right, has anyone got any more questions? Any other things they want me to look at? Questions about Elevate, Empire, trading, psychology, anything?
Is
No.
the call for tomorrow still on as well? Does anyone know?
Mentorship.
I don't know. I thought there was a call. They were saying that was going to be like 9 o'clock US time, like AM.
I'm not sure actually.
Not that I know of.
Don't.
Okay, well,
Oh,
Do you know who was
unless-
hosting it?
Is it Elevate? Like, are you talking about Elevate call?
maybe it is because I am in that too. So maybe it is. that.
Yeah, I would
Actually,
say
it is
I
that.
would say.
Yeah, never mind.
Let me just check.
Do you know who was hosting it?
I honestly don't know. I just remember people talking about it in the chat.
Maybe. I don't know.
So I don't think there's any Empire calls at 9 AM.
So what was it tomorrow? Tomorrow at 9 AM or PM?
AM US time.
There's one at 3:30 AM.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
It's
if you
actually
come
good.
to the page here, the Elevate page, come all the way down the bottom left here, down the calendar.
Oh, okay.
It just gives you like every call that's happening.
Oh, okay,
and what time.
perfect.
Oh wait, so wait a minute. That'll be 3:30 for. Oh no, that'll be 3:30 for whatever this is, central, whatever that is. So
No,
let
it's
me just look.
3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central. That's the mentorship call.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Well, that'd be it. But yeah, I mean, this is how I look at calls here. Just come straight in the calendar, and it just shows you every call in order.
Okay,
And then if you want to go the next day, next week, whatever, boom, hit the next one, and just go on to the next.
all right.
But yeah, obviously there's if anyone is not in Empire or not in Elevate, sorry, yeah, this is just a standard week right here. So we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 calls. 12 calls a week, and that 12 calls a week, and then they are like they're set, right? So there's 12 calls every single week. And obviously they're all discussing different things. Obviously we've got NFTs, there's a lot of Forex stuff as well. So if you are looking into jumping into Forex as well, there's a lot of Forex stuff. But obviously there's a lot of crypto stuff as well for anyone interested in the crypto space. So there's a lot of NFT and that sort of things. But if anyone's got any questions about Elevate or they want me to go through, I can do that really quickly. But apart from that, I'm going to wrap up. So the last thing I will say is, for anyone that's on the call right now, if you could get a couple of suggestions and write them down, I'm going to make a post, or obviously I'm going to post this. I'm going to talk to Matt first, but when I post this, I will get you to write down some suggestions on what you want to talk about. Maybe some, like maybe it might be a coin, a trade, or maybe even just throughout the week. Like if you see something throughout the week, just comment on the post and comment on it, and just and write about it. And then come next week when I make this call, when I have this call again, we can go through, you know, whatever it is. And so, yep, cool. That being said, that is everything I had to say. So I am.
Thanks.
Good call, mate.
Yeah, cheers,
thank
fellas.
you.
Thanks a
Howdy,
lot.
guys.
Thanks, Shane. See you, boys.
All right, have a good night,
Yeah,
good
boys.
morning, wherever you guys are. Bye.
See you, fellas.